Yeah, this just released Ray Way. Hey, y'all better come hook up. Y'all better come get up in here. Y'all better hook up and let's see what I got. What I got might can help you in the long run. What I got was just released. Yeah. What I got was just released. Yeah. Let let these viewers come on up in here. Yeah, cause they see us. I know y'all see Dre Dog live. Yeah, and I know y'all want to hear what I got to talk about. You might be in cahoots of what I'm about to bring to the table of TDCJ officers. TDCJ officers. All right. Got me one up in there. Uh, I pray peace upon y'all families today. I pray peace upon those who are incarcerated, men, women, and teenagers. Because, see, this just don't go on in men prisons. It goes on in women's prisons, and it even go on in the teenagers' uh, state schools. And I don't know why. I don't know why you have these types of uh, superior officers. It's going to always be an officer that would like to beat up offenders. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something, cause I had one fight. I had one fight with an officer, and it was basically because I was playing with a female officer. And by this officer, he was new, right? He was just started. And so he thought when me and the girl was playing, he thought that it was something serious. And so he ran over there, got all in my face. Hey, man. I say, man, you better back off of me. Boom, 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 I took him, boom, 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 I took him to the ground. I took him to the ground. But but at this time, it was like in the early 90s. So I they locked me up. They locked me up. And but I was a SSI. I had a lieutenant. When the girl went to the lieutenant and told him what took place, and the male officer, he uh he he coincided with what she was saying. Well, the lieutenant, which was my lieutenant, he let me out. He let me out no write up. Told me, Peggy, stop playing with them women around people. But this youngster, he has just started, right? So he was already had the mentality of him being in gray and me being in white. That you know what I'm saying, he just, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. You can't do. You know, and they and you know and gray to an extent, and I was lucky, right? Cause the lady, the officer, she went and told what happened, and he was the kind of lieutenant that all you had to do is be straight up with. Yeah, you just be straight up with him, and uh he was fair. He was fair, especially when the officer came and addressed the issue. And then the little youngster, the dude, he verified what she was saying and how he took it. He took it in the wrong way, but you know, how he know? You know what I'm saying? Because he just started. But playing with officers was taking place in the system at this time. And then let me tell you something. One of the things that can keep you from being hurt in prison by an officer is keep your hands behind your back when you're talking to them. See, some inmates don't think that they have to do that. And see, when you got your hands in the front and you talking to them, you expressing something. You're expressing the way you feel. And officers, they line to tell you, put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, and you still don't do it. And they done gave you a direct order. They gonna take you to the ground, especially when 2, 3 of them show up in the mix. You going to the ground. Yeah, you going to the ground. You think that old Floyd uh went out the way he went out, you can go out the same way inside of prison because they not gonna care about how they taking you down. They not gonna care how they doing you in this, and it's not even cause for. But offenders have to pay attention to how they dealing with rank. And when I went to ISF different. ISF different. Even though you got TDC officers that work ISF, it's not TDC. So you got a standard of behavior that takes place in ISF that's not the same standard as if you was in prison. So you got, but they still will handle you if you're in violation. And that's the thing about being in violation, not putting yourself in a position to be violated. And cause guess what? 50 laws can come in there and jump on you in a tank. You might have one inmate that might sign a statement. Inmates, you know what I'm saying, are totally different in today's time. And they don't stick together as they did back in the day. See, back in the day, man, a law jump on you, well, he's finna get jumped on. He's finna get something done to him. Seriously, he's finna get something done to him. They didn't. I remember when they got yellow lines down the hallways. They got yellow lines on the side of the tank. Well, if a law, an officer, if he come beyond that line, you had the right to whoop him. He was in violation, and it was a known rule. This was a known rule of that facility. He got whooped, and then you had, if you get caught in the middle of the hallway, they got the right to whoop you. Yeah, that's how it was. And back in the day, they had turnkeys. They had a squad of dudes, not the inmates, but they had men in black. Men in black was the beat 'em up squad. When they come, they basically come to whoop you. They come to whoop you, and they all 6 something. I don't even think that one of them was 5'5" or 5'6". They all was 6 feet and up. So you have to pay attention when you go into these places. When you in that position, when you are in that position, something gonna take place. Something gonna take place upon you that you never knew could happen to you. And the reason why I brought this topic up is because in the years that I was incarcerated, everybody go to jail, man. Everybody go to jail. When when you go to jail, you don't even see it coming. You don't see it coming. You've been enjoying yourself or doing what you're doing, and all of a sudden, police show up. Even in these streets, these laws, these polices are killing people. They're killing people, and we talking about in society. So, what do you think the the people in gray, the officers inside these prisons, are doing to inmates that they feel is violate? They'll hurt you. Listen, tell you something. I told you in my other video how dangerous a chow house could be. And let me tell you something. When you in a chow house, they only have two officers working the chow house. One on one side and one on the other. So if something jump off, they lock the door, remember? They lock the door. And you got two officers inside of the chow house with you. And let's say you getting beat up. How can they help you? How can they help you? They can't help you. That's it's no it's no boundary there. It's no safety there. And this was what would take place when you put yourself in a locked up world. You read, they give you inmate handbooks. They give you inmate handbooks, right? And these inmate handbooks supposed to wake you up to the rules that you are facing inside that compound. Well, them rules just go out the door when an officer or two took you to the ground, smashed your face, broke your teeth. See, that shouldn't even take place because that's not a regular use of force. They call it use of force. Well, they had to use force against you. But I asked, for what? If it's one person and it's 5 laws, why did you have to use force? This is why they used the force. Because the inmate was being right. He was telling them what was right. And that's one thing you can't do. You can't tell an officer something that he feel like he know. But by him doing what he did, they know they be in violation, man. They know they be in violation. But I'm gonna tell you who's in violation. You. You become a violator when you enter the jail. You become a violator once you enter TDC. There's no way you have any rights. They take them away from you, people. They take these rights from you and they feel like they can do anything to you. You know, I seen inmates knock officers out. I remember old South Park. Oh, I was over Ellis One. Man, they had this police law. He was a police, big old white boy. Big. And man, South Park said, man, he said, man, I'm finna knock this fool out. I'm finna take one for the team. And that's how offenders act. in prison. They take stuff for the team. No, Dre, you can't handle that. I'm gonna get that for you. I got you. And man, this man opened that door on South Park, thinking he was finna talk. Man, South Park hit him so hard, that man hit the ground like a boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm talking about hit the ot. And the women that was working around didn't even scream fight. Didn't even scream fight because they knew how he was, the type of officer he was, and he been bringing on. He been need to be knocked out. The women didn't even holler fight. He was laying down there for some time before some officers came to his rescue. He was out, knocked out. He was out. Y'all think I'm playing. Prison is something else. Prison, you know, can truly hurt you. Prison can cause you your life in there. When these guards supposed to be for your protection, but you have guards inside TDCJ that they only want to hurt you. They want to see you not make parole. They want to hurt you so bad that it don't make sense for an officer to even have that mind frame of doing something to an unprotected class of people. And that's what you are. See, you are an unprotected class of people. And they have to have security to be there for you in case something happened to you. But when it's the security that's doing the dirty work, then all the other security officers is gonna come and they rescue. And all the time, you needed rescue. Yeah, man, they're gonna take you. I never forget my partner, Lil Charles. I was on East Sam, and they had real police law. Everybody, I mean, this dude, he was a cop, man. So, Lil Charles say, man, I'm gonna knock him out, man. I'm gonna whoop him. He said, Lil Charles said, I'm gonna whoop him. So, let me tell you what took place. Lil Charles whooped that law butt. And look, and we was on South End at that time. I was on medium custody. So when they brought Lil Charles down from Ace Park, they had him in handcuffs. Everybody was clapping Lil Charles. Everybody was clapping for what Lil Charles did. He took a fall for everybody. When they took Lil Charles into that hospital, once they have a issue, they always take you to lockup and go to infirmary. Then you're gonna go to lockup. When they brought Lil Charles out of that medical department, Lil Charles was beat up. He was beat up. Wasn't no clapping no more. Wasn't no retaliation where somebody went and helped Lil Charles. It's so sad because Lil Charles took a bite. Oh, yeah. Oh, what you got there? know they announced they hung up.
The car down.
What car?
Mine, I guess they want the other $4,000. What that?
They what they did was nothing to retaliate for Lil Charles. They said Lil Charles. But I seen Lil Charles out here in society. I seen Lil Charles. We laughed about that, man, because that was the last time I had seen him, and I seen him out here in society. And Lil Charles, he remembered my name, Dre Dog. Man, we reminisced and everything. I was gonna do an interview with him, and he was set to do one, but I ended up going to ISF, and I would like the y'all to hear Lil Charles. But people out here, people out here really don't understand. If you ain't never been to prison and you don't want to go, you don't want to go to prison. Please don't go to prison, because prison is not gonna be what you thought it would be. See, you got some of these cats that's done got out of prison and talking about their adventures and what they did and all this, and making it sound like they just, did something good. Well, a lot of them ain't been to prison. See, they just went to them old holding facilities, holiday unit and all that. But when you're going to places like Ellis, when you're going to places like Esam, when you're going to places like the Wind Unit, when you're going to these old units, they have a different mentality than they do of the officers that's working these holding facilities. These officers been in the system so long, and they not gonna let nothing harm them. So them kind of officers, they what you call uh, uh, inmate officers that don't choose to come to work with their problems. Some officers come and bring their problems with them to work, and when you do that, it affects your way of thinking, your way of behavior, and you upset probably because your wife is having an affair with one of your workers, because both of y'all TDC officers. There's so much go on inside these prisons that inmates don't even realize how dangerous it becomes when you in prison. They had a guy, I never forget, they had an officer. He used to I used to work back gate SSI, and he was real fat. He was a real fat dude. So he called his wife, because he found out his wife was having an affair. And he was in the picket, and he shot himself, killed himself. He killed himself. Not saying that it was better that he killed himself, but it was good that he didn't kill an inmate. This officer worked outside pickets at the back gate, but it stunned the unit, because this man was not uh, a bad officer. So a lot of inmates felt for him in his life. These are things that go on that you just don't read about, that you just don't uh, hear or see. But these things go on in prison, people. These things go on in prison, not so much of an officer losing his life, but an inmate can lose his life behind someone else's problem. Behind someone else's problem. I know that some of us, man, we living bad in these streets. We think we bad, but when you go to prison, you're an inmate, you're an offender. And if they say it too many times to you, you go offender going to the ground face first. Face first. And next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna be writing your mama, writing your wife, worrying them to death. When all you had to do was stay home, stay free. All you had to do was stay free. Because guess what? It's easy to stay out of jail. It's easy to stay out of jail if you just keep yourself together. If you just keep yourself together. You know, this title that I brought to your attention is so that you know what to expect if you go to jail. You know, and this is my motto. This is my thing for you all. And I know it's some prison channels that probably give you all some of the damnedest topics and some of the damnedest stories. I can give you some stories that will wonder how can a man, now listen to me, if I was to come in here and I'm talking about uh rape, somebody being raped, right? I never witnessed that. I couldn't stand to witness a man getting raped and then coming and talk about it. I'm here to tell you how not to get raped. How not to get raped. How you tell your loved ones when you go see them how not to get raped. I'm telling you things that you can tell your loved ones that's incarcerated, things that you shouldn't do, because if they go look up Andre Wade, aka Dre Dog, I am known. I am known. I did 20 something years and made it out of there with a sound mind. And I was never raped. I was never took to the ground. And I was a bad actor. But the officers respected me. They respected me because when the conversation come to between me and an officer, it was me giving them respect. See, it was me giving them what they supposed to have authority over me. So when they want to hear me, then they want to hear something they done brought to my attention because something has taken place in their household, something taking place in their religion. They bring it to Dre Dog, and we talk about it, and I pray for them. Yeah, I wasn't no sucker. I wasn't no mob. I was a man of God, and I shared with the people things that they needed to hear at that time. And I ain't asked for nothing. I ain't asked for nothing, but they give it to me anyway. They give it to me without me much knowing that I was finna receive something. This is serious, people. This is serious. This is serious. What I bring you, I'm bringing you the facts of TDCJ. Because that's the only place I ever been. I ain't been to Mississippi prison. I ain't been to no Ohio prison. I haven't been to prison out of state. I only been to prisons in the state of Texas. And I've been to many maximum security units. But the way I behaved, the way I conducted myself throughout those years, guess what? Guess what? I ended up on a minimum security unit where they gave me an FI1. Your character means more than anything in these walls, in these prisons. Your character would get you out of prison when you didn't think it would. Your character would keep you from getting your head split. Your character would get you where you don't get took to the ground. I mean, you know, when I'm walking down the hall, it can be 25 inmates walking down that hall. And there might be 2, 3 officers in the hall. And out of all inmates, they're gonna say, "Hey, how you doing, Wade?" They're gonna say, "How you doing, Mr. Wade?" And I wasn't no snitch. I wasn't none of that. I was a man that gave respect to inmates, and I gave respect to officers. I knew what I had to do in order to get out of prison. I knew what I had to do in order to keep me from getting hurt. You can get hurt in prison, people, by the officers. Not just talking about the inmates, by the officers. And if they really got it in for you, you are finna go through something you ain't never think you can go through. You are finna go through something that you feel that's not right. You're gonna be sending our 60s. You're gonna be doing all that stuff. Sending in what you feel they doing to you, filing grievances and what you think they doing to you. And when internal affairs get a hold to it, they're gonna say your grievance don't hold no merits. Watch yourself. Take care of yourself in prison. Because if you ever go, your life right then is in danger. Hey, this is Andre Wade with Just Release. Ain't no telling what I might come back with next. But I tell you this, when you tell somebody about Just Release, tell them to hit that like button, tell them to hit that like button, and subscribe and share. Because they're going to enjoy it anywhere it comes. Anywhere it comes. Yeah, I can tell you how Big West, Big West, I can tell you about Pain. I can tell you about how Pain worked in the showers. And Big Turbo on the weightlifting team, muscles on top of muscles, came into the shower. And by Pain messing with them boys, he just felt like he could tell him anything. I'm talking about bumping in front of everybody against Pain. Pain said, yeah, all right. Pain messed with them boys, but Pain was a serious dude. So when Turbo went and got butt naked, Pain waited until he started putting that soap in his hair, washing his hair. Pain whooped Turbo from out of the shower all the way into the hallway, whooping him while he was butt naked. If you know you're on a dangerous unit, watch how you wash your hair. Some people don't wash their hair in the showers. They wash them in the cells. They wash them in the cells because they don't know what's gonna go on, because all the time they see somebody washing their hair and stuff, something happened to them. Something happened to them. Something happened to you if you have a foul mouth and ain't got no backup. Dum 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 dum. Just release my hand. Ha ha ha. Yeah, this is Andre Wade with Just Release, and I'll be back with something else.